Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnanajana Shalakaya Chakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Gurva Bhistam Supurakam Gurganara Sambhushitam Chintya Samasaveda Nipanam Shri Rupa Patanukam Govinda Abhidam Ujwalam Varatanum Bhaktyan Vidam Sundaram Bande Vishwa Gurunsha Devyad Bhagavat Prem Noe Bija Pradam Manshako Pataru Vyasya Kripa Sindhu Vyevacha Patitanam Pavenibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahabharanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gaurata Vishaye Namah. I'm reading from the Garga Samhita by Sri Garga Muni. That's translated by Kushakratha Prabhu, and this is the Second Canto, Vrindavana-khanda, and this is chapter 6, the liberation of Aghasura. Sri Narada said, once, as Krishna was herding the calves along with the older boys near the beautiful Jamuna, and thus enjoying the pastimes of childhood, a great demon named Aghasura stayed there. His body was 2 miles long, and his mouth was wide open. From afar, the boys saw the demon, his body like a great mountain, approaching and clapping their hands. Approaching and clapping their hands. They entered the mouth along with the calves. So, let's see. Sri Narada said, once, as Krishna was herding the calves along with the other boys near the beautiful Jamuna, and thus enjoying the pastimes of childhood, a great demon named Aghasura stayed there. His body was 2 miles long, and his mouth was wide open. From afar, the boys saw the demon, his body like a great mountain, approaching and clapping their hands. They entered his mouth along with the calves. To protect them, Krishna entered the mouth along with the boys. When the demon, in the form of a snake, had swallowed the boys and calves, the demigods cried out, "Alas!" and the demons became happy. Krishna then expanded his universal form inside Aghasura's stomach. Its movement stopped. The demon's life breath broke through his skull and left. Then Krishna and the boys and calves left his mouth, O King of Matilda. With a glance, Krishna brought the boys and calves back to life. Then a light that was like a lightning flash left the demon's body and entered Krishna, who was dark as a monsoon cloud. The demigod showered flowers. After hearing the sage's words, the king of Matilda said, who was this demon in his previous birth that he was able to enter Lord Krishna? Simply by hating him, this demon quickly attained the Lord. Sri Narada said, O king, he was Shankachyuta's son, and his name was Agha. He was young, strong, and very handsome. He was like another Kamadev. When he saw the disfigured sage, Ashtavakra Muni, walking by the Malaya hills, Agha laughed and said, who is this ugly person? The sage cursed the demon Agha, saying, O wicked-hearted one, you will become a snake. You will be the ugliest snake in the circle of the earth. Seeing that the demon, his pride and arrogance now gone, had fallen at his feet, the sage became pleased with him and gave him a benediction. Sri Astavakra said, Sri Krishna, who is more handsome than many millions of Kamadevas, will enter your stomach. Thus, you will be freed from having a snake form. Sri Narada said, by Ashtavakra's curse, Aghasura became a snake, and by Ashtavakra's blessing, he attained a liberation even the demigods cannot hope to achieve. By hearing how in only a few days Krishna had been rescued from Vatsasura, Bakasura's beak, and now Aghasura, Yashoda became filled with fear. calling together Kalavati, Rohini, the most important gopas and gopis, the Gopa king, Vrishabhanu, Raja's king Nanda, the 9 Upanandas, the Nandas, the Vrishabhanus, and the various leaders of Raja. Yashoda spoke to them. Sri Yashoda said, "What shall I do? Where shall I go? How will I be happy? Moment from moment, many calamities have befallen my son. First we left Mahavan and came to Vrindavan. If we leave Vrindavan, what safe country where there will be no fearful calamities could we go? Please tell me." When he plays, my restless boy goes far away. All the boys are restless. I am not the only one to say that. Powerful and sharp-beaked Aghasura swallowed my boy. Somehow he was rescued. Another day Aghasura swallowed my boy and all the other boys. When he tried to kill my boy, Vatsasura was himself killed by his own fate. Now I do not allow my boy to go outside to care for the calves. Sri Narada said, glancing at Yashoda as she spoke these words and wept. Nanda, who was the best of the pious and who understood the true meaning of religion, spoke to her. He comforted her by repeating the words of Garga Muni. Nanda Maharaj said, "O Yashoda, you have completely forgotten Garga Muni's words. The words of the Brahmins are always true. They are never untrue. Therefore, charity should be given. That will dispel all calamities. There has never been, nor will there ever be, a source of good fortune better than giving charity." Sri Narada said, "O king, on behalf of her boy and Balaram, Yashoda gave to the Brahmins great wealth, 7 kinds of precious jewels, and even her own ornaments. Nanda gave in charity 10,000 bulls, 100,000 beautiful cows, and 200,000 baras of grains." So then we'll continue here. This is chapter 7, Kidnapping of the Calves and Cowherd Boys. Sri Narada said, "O King of Kings, please listen as I describe the other pastime Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, enjoyed in his Kumara and Poganda years. After rescuing the calves and gopas from death in Aghasura's mouth, Sri Krishna went to the Jamuna shore and spoke the following delightful words. "O gopas, let us go to this beautiful and pleasing riverbank of soft sand, which is flooded with pollen from the lotuses blossoming in autumn, fragrant with a breeze carrying 3 scents, and filled with trees, vines, and the humming of bees. Now that 3 hours have passed and it is time for lunch, let us take our meal here. I see that this place with soft sand is a very good place for our lunch. The calves will drink the water and then go to the new grass there." Hearing Krishna's words, the boys said, "So be it." Then they all sat down on the riverbank to have lunch. Some boys who had not brought lunch whispered in Krishna's ear, "We did not bring any lunch. With the calves we have come very far from Nanda's village." Hearing this, Krishna said, "Dear friends, don't lament. I will carefully give lunch to everyone. All you boys just follow my words." On Krishna's words, all the boys assembled around him, put down their gopa robes, and ate their lunch in his company. With the gopa boys dressed in garments of many colors, Krishna made a royal circle with himself dressed in yellow in the center. O king of Videha, surrounded by the gopa boys, as Indra is surrounded by the demigods, on or a lotus whirl is surrounded by many soft petals. Krishna shone with great splendor, making lunch trays out of flowers, grass, twigs, leaves, fruit, rocks, rope, or their hands. The boys ate. Then one boy suddenly gave a morsel to Krishna. Krishna ate it, glanced at everyone and said, "Friend, I do not know of anything more delicious than this." The boy said, "It is so." Then the boy gave morsels. Then the boy gave morsels of that food to the others. Joking and laughing, the boys ate. Then Subal gave a morsel of food to Krishna. Krishna tasted the morsel and laughed. All the boys that tasted that food laughed aloud. The boy said, "O son of Nanda, his bewildered grandmother does not know how to cook. That was not delicious." Then Sridham gave a morsel to Krishna and the other boys. All the boys of Braja declared, "This is the best." Then Virutapa earnestly gave a morsel to Krishna and all the other boys. When they ate it, Krishna and all the boys of Vraja laughed. The boys said, "This is like Subal's food. By eating this, we have all become very unhappy at heart." In this way, each boy showed his lunch to the others. Laughing and making each other laugh, the boys enjoyed pastimes. Tucked into the cloth about his waist, his flute, stick, and horn, in his left hand a morsel of food, on his fingers pieces of fruit, and on his head a crown, over his shoulder a yellow cloth, on his chest a forest garland, on his hips a belt, on his feet anklets, on his chest a Kaustuba jewel and Sripad's mark. Staying in the midst of the Gopas and making them laugh with his joking words, as the people of Svargaloka and the other planets gazed in wonder, Lord Krishna, the enjoyer of sacrifices, enjoyed many pastimes. As the boys, for whom Krishna was the Lord of their lives, ate, the calves, greedy for more grass, went far away, deep in the forest. Seeing that the Gopas were frightened, Krishna said to them, Don't go, I shall bring the calves here." Saying this, Krishna stood up, took a morsel of food in his hand, and left to search the calves and forest. Saying this, Krishna stood up, took a morsel of food in his hand, and left to search the caves and forests for the calves. At that time, the demigod Brahma, who had already seen the liberation of Aghasura, came and gazed at Krishna happily eating lunch with the boys on the river bank. As he gazed at Krishna, Brahma said within his mind, "This must be a Gopa. He cannot be Lord Hari, the personality of Godhead. Why would Lord Hari enjoy such wretched food along with the Gopa boys of Braja?" After thinking this way, Brahma became bewildered by the Lord's illusory potency. "O king," he set in his heart on seeing the beautiful glories of the Lord as he stood in the sky. Brahma, who was very surprised to see Aghasura's liberation, stole all the calves and boys and disappeared. So you have to tune in tomorrow or Monday, whenever we read here.